Dixie State. At first base, number 17, Corey Gone. At second base, number 4, Caitlin DeWang. At shortstop, number 5, Bailey Gaffin. At third base, number 2, Danny Bartloff. In the outfield and left field, number 22, Brenna Peake. In center field, number 1, Janessa Bassett. In right field, 00, Kenzie Sawyer. And your battery for game 2, behind the plate, number 12, Jess Gonzalez. And pitching for Dixie State University, number 13, Alex Melendez. Leading off for Biola, right fielder, Jay Perez. Catcher, number 35, Kayla Neff.
That's another ball for Ramos. Counts now currently 2-0. Oh, a swing and a miss for Ramos. That's strike 1 for her. Another strike for Ramos. Counts now 2-2 for Ramos, with 1 out and 1 runner on here in the top of the first. Oh, and that's a foul ball. She hits it in between first and second base. Out to right field. Kenzie Sawyer's able to get it in. That's a single for Ramos, advancing the runner to second and first. Can see her on the replay. It's just right in between Gone and delaying. Kenzie Sawyer's able to throw it back in before any more runners advance farther. Now batting for Biola is the third baseman, Selena Sherlin. First pitch, she hits it foul over the left side. Biola has one out with 2 runners on currently in the game. Still 0-0. If you didn't tune in earlier for game 1, Dixie State Trailblazers won in 5 innings. The score was 9-1. Sherlin fouls off the back net again. Counts now 0-2 for Sherlin. Currently pitching for Dixie State is Alex Melendez. Earlier, Hazel pitched all of game 1, and they brought in Melendez for game 2. Oh, that was a little late on the hit. She makes the out at first. Oh, she is called safe. Umpires made the call safe at first. Bases are now loaded for Biola. Let's watch that in the replay. She's really late on that hit. It's almost like a bunt. And she's able to throw it over. Oh, and it looks like Gone stepped off the bag before the ball was in her mitt. Now, another foul ball. Now batting for Biola is Haley Boyette, the designated player. She has bases loaded with only 1 out here in the top of the first inning. This could shake things up for game 2. That ball's a little inside and low. That's ball 1. Ball 2, sorry. Nope, ball 1. Counts now 1-1 for Boyette. Pitches outside. Counts now 2-1 for Boyette. She is ahead in the count here with the bases loaded. Score 0-0 currently. Ball's hit up into foul territory out towards the spectators. Now, if you do join us here at the field, if you find a foul ball, please bring it back into the field to the first base dugout. They use new balls every game to keep the game fair, and the team needs those balls to play. So make sure that you return those to the first base dugout if you find one. If you're unable to join us in St. George at any time, just to let you know, the warm weather is beautiful. It's about 73 degrees outside, and it's a perfect day to play softball. And Bartov picks up that ground ball for an out at 4, taking the lead runner and keeping Biola scoreless. That's 2 outs. See right there, Bartov picks it up, throws it to 4. Gonzalez is able to get the tag out at home. And now Biola has 2 outs in the top of the first. Bases still loaded. Now batting for Biola is the first baseman, Missy Poti. Melendez steps back off the mound. Needs to take a little breather, it looks like. Recollect herself. Now back on the mound. We'll see the windup. And then the pitch. And that is fair ball right down the third base line. And the ball goes past the catcher, leaving 2 runs scored for Biola here in the top of the first inning for game 2. Let's watch that replay. She hits it right along the third baseline, and Brenna Hinks able to throw it in, but the throw is a little bit off. And Sherlyn scores another run for Biola. Biola now leads the Trailblazers 2-0 with base runners at third and second. That's a ball. Currently batting for Biola is the shortstop Andy Hormel. And Biola does have 2 runners in scoring positions with 2 outs here in the top of the first. That ball is just a little outside. That's ball number 2 for Hormel. Now this is Dixie State's 6th game of the week. They had 2 doubleheaders earlier on Wednesday and Thursday against the Azusa Pacific Cougars, where they won 3 games out of the 4. Dixie State currently is 12-3 in the Pac West and 26-3 overall. That's another ball. Hormel's going to take a walk down to first base, and the bases are loaded yet again with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Now stepping up to the plate is Kaylee Chavez, the left fielder. You could see Jessica Gonzalez tried to frame the ball, but it was just a little too outside for the umpire. Still outside. That's a strike. 1-1 now for Chavez. Now Kaylee Chavez is on a pass ball. No one advances. So the score remains 2-0. You got to be careful when you have a runner at third and second. That is an opportunity for the runners to score if the ball gets behind the catcher. Now ball's inside. That's another ball. 3-1 here in the top of the first. Kaylee Chavez batting for Biola with runners on third and second. Biola currently leads the bases are loaded, and Biola currently leads 2-0. That's another strike. Full count now. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Counts full. This could go either way. We could see some more runs be scored, or this could be the end of the first inning. And she fouls it off towards the umpire over there. Looks like he tried to catch it. Currently up to bat for Biola is Kaylee Chavez. She's the left fielder and also a pitcher. She's a senior from Orange, California. Another foul ball. Count's still full here. Pitching for the Trailblazers is Alex Melendez. She is a junior from Moreno Valley, California. And that's a strikeout. She struck out looking. That's the end of the top of the first. Trailblazers are currently behind by 2, headed into the bottom of the first.
2 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors in the inning, 3 runners left.
There is a place where looking out means looking in. where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
Welcome back to Carl Brooks Field, where the Biola Eagles are taking on the Dixie State Trailblazers here at home. The weather is currently about 73 degrees with lots of sunshine and some wispy clouds in the sky. The Trailblazers currently are behind by 2. Biola leads them 2-0. If you take a look at the pitcher, number 14, currently pitching for Biola is Paige Austin. She is a freshman and a right-handed pitcher. Now, if you did not tune in for Game 1, Dixie State beat Biola 9-1 in 5 innings. And it was the game was only an hour and a half long, a pretty short game for softball. This is Dixie State's 6th game of the week. They previously played the Azusa Pacific Cougars in 2 doubleheaders on Wednesdays and Thursday. To start off, batting for Game 2 here for the Trailblazers is center fielder number 1, Janessa Bassett. Bassett is a senior from Stansbury Park, Utah, and this is her final season with the Trailblazers. Here's the windup and the pitch. Ooh, and that's a little inside. Looks like Bassett tried to turn away from that ball. Looks like it was really close to her. Ooh, and that's a strike. Counts now 1-1 for Bassett. So a fun little fact I learned about the Dixie State softball team interviewing Janessa Bassett not too long ago was that they all wear a similar wristband. It's blue and tan, a little orange now that they wear it while they play, and it signifies their team unity. That's one of the big things that Bassett was saying. The team focuses on his team unity, and that surely plays a part in any team sporting event. Bassett's currently 2-1 in the count. Another ball, 3-1 now in the count with Janessa Bassett. Still at the plate, still has a chance to hit or walk here. And she hits it deep into center field, and the center fielder makes the catch. That's the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. Can see on the replay, she gets a good smack at that ball, but the center fielder is able to make that catch as she runs back for it. Now batting for the Trailblazers is the left fielder number 22, Brenna Hink. Ball is high and inside. That's ball number 1 for Hink. Hink is an outfielder, a sophomore outfielder from Tremonton, Utah. She attended Bear River High School where she played softball. That's a strike. Counts now 1-1 for Hink. That's a swing and a miss for Brenna Hink. She was a little bit out in front of that ball. Counts now 1-2 with Austin having the lead in the count. Again, pitching for Biola is Paige Austin. And she gets a late hit on that ball, still makes contact to foul it off, keeping herself alive in the box. Counts still 1-2. That ball is high. Counts now 2-2. Fouls it off again to keep herself alive. And that ball hit the dirt. Count is now full 3 balls, 2 strikes. Anything could happen here. Brenna Hink could take a walk. She could foul it off again. Or she could take a base hit or strike out. It's a lot of options. And she takes a walk down to first. That puts 1 runner on. And up to the plate is now Bailey Gaffin, the shortstop. You can see that ball is just a little outside.
The shortstop, number 5, Bailey Gaffin.
Oh, when she makes the throw, or makes the... Bailey Gaffin hits it straight to the pitcher. Pitcher catches it. Looks surprised that she did. You see, she hits it, bam. And she makes that throw, but Brenna Hink is still safe at first. With 2 outs and 1 runner on, now up to bat is Kenzie Sawyer, the right fielder. First swing and a miss. That's 1 strike for Kenzie Sawyer. The Trailblazers need to get some runs on the board here soon. They want to win this game. Counts now 1-1 with 2 outs and 1 runner on as Sawyer at the plate. That ball is outside. Counts now 2-1. Kenzie Sawyer ahead in the count. And the ball gets past. Catcher tries to get the out there at second. Bounces past the second and shortstop. Brenna Hink is safe at second. Looks like the shortstop almost had a grab on that ball, but it bounced out of the glove. Sawyer's still up at the plate. 1 runner on. They are playing aggressive on the bags as they typically do. Dixie State tends to take huge leads off the bags to get themselves the advantage in stealing. Now Sawyer, full count with 2 outs. She pops it up, and the shortstop makes the catch to end the bottom of the first inning. Trailblazers stand scoreless here going into the second inning with 1 runner left on.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Why couldn't the Wait, why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the Cavs go on vacation? New York.
Welcome back to Carl Brooks Field here at Dixie State University, where the Biola Eagles are visiting the Dixie State Trailblazers. We're here in Game 2 of the doubleheader, with Biola leading Dixie State 2-0 at the top of the second. In the field for your Dixie State Trailblazers, you have for the battery, number 12, Jess Gonzalez. Pitching, number 13, Alex Melendez. At first base, you have number 17, Corey Gahn. Second, number 4, Caitlin DeLang. Number 5 at shortstop, Bailey Gaffin. Third base, number 2, Danny Bartoff. In the outfield, you have in left, Brenna Hink, number 22. Number 1 in center, Janessa Bassett. And 00 in right, Kenzie Sawyer. Up to bat for Biola is number 7, Ruth Munoz. Now, in both at-bats of the previous game, Munoz walked both times. Let's see if she's able to get a hit here in the second game. And that's a strike for Munoz. 1-1 now in the count. Another strike. 1-2. Melendez ahead in the count. Munoz grabs a hold of that ball, but it lands out in foul territory along the third baseline. Count still 1-2 for Munoz. See on the replay here, she grabs it there at the end and pulls it out there. That ball's a little inside. Munoz even has to turn away from it a little bit to avoid being hit. 2-2 now in the count for Munoz, with the Dixie State Trailblazers behind by 2. No outs here in the top of the second. Munoz grabs a hold of it, and no one's able to catch it. That's a single for Munoz. You can see here on the replay, she grabs a hold of it. It's in between the infield and outfield. Brenna Hink does make an effort to get there and is able to stop it, keep Munoz at first. Now batting for Biola is Jay Perez. She is the top of the lineup. Ooh, and that is a passed ball by Gonzalez. Ball was thrown to first and no one was there to catch it. Bounced right over the runner and she was able to advance to second. With the runner at second now, no outs here in the top of the second. Jay Perez is up to bat. She is 1-0 in the count. Perez gets a hold of it, and they're trying to make a play at first. And she is called safe. That advances Munoz to third. Let's see a look at the replay here. Bounces past Gone. Delaying gets it. Waits for Gone to get there. And looks like that the runner was out, but the umpires do make the official calls here. Dixie State's having a little huddle on the mound right now, a little powwow. If you notice, when they have powwows as a little team out there, before they disperse, they kiss the middle finger and then put it on the ball. Tradition is beautiful. Now up to bat for Biola is the catcher, Kaylin Neff. Biola currently has 2 runners on the corners, third base and first base. That's a bunt. Out at first, keeping the runner at third. Neff did advance the runner from first to second. That bunt was laid right down to Danny Bartoff, and she makes a quick throw over to first for that out. Now batting for Biola is the center fielder, Ariana Ramos. And on the first pitch, she fouls it out towards the third base. If you're joining us on YouTube Live, you can also catch the baseball game that will start at 3 o'clock here on the Dixie State Athletics Facebook or YouTube Live. Counts currently 1-1 for Ramos. Ooh, and it looks like she wanted to take a hit at that one, but that is a ball. Counts now 2-1. Looks like the umpire has to inform someone in the Biola dugout to stand in a specific spot. NCAA has many rules as to where photographers and or players can stand during gameplay. And that ball is popped up straight over to Bailey Gaff, and she makes the catch, keeps the runners where they're at. That's 2 outs now for Biola in the top of the second. Bailey Gaffin was ready to throw out another player, but those runners stayed at their bases. Smart move. Now up to bat is Selena Sherlin, and she pops it up over into the practice field. That's a foul ball. Counts now 0-1 for her. Again, batting for Biola is Selena Sherlin. She fouls it out again over to the third base area. Biola currently has 2 outs with 2 runners on. Selena Sherlin up to bat. That ball's outside. Counts now 1-2. Melendez is still ahead in the count here with 2 strikes on Sherlin. There are 2 runners in scoring position. Let's see what Biola will do here in this tough situation. Another foul ball from Sherlin. She is grabbing those balls a little too late, pulling them onto the left side of the field. If she straightens it out and gets ahead of the ball a little bit faster, she could very well hit it straight into the field. Danny Bartov makes that easy grounder. She picks it up, tosses it over to first base for the third out of the inning, or the top of the second inning. 2 runners left on the base, and that leaves the score 2-0 with the Trailblazers behind. We'll be back after the break for the bottom half of the second inning.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
First pitch is a ball. 1-0, Gonzalez ahead in the count. Now if you're here at Carl Brooks Field, make sure you watch out for the foul balls. That could come flying out at any time. And Gonzalez hits it a little bit inside, and she's unable to beat it out. Oh, that is indeed a dead ball. Looks like it hit her. It looks like it bounced in the batter's box and then hit her. That's a dead ball. She gets another chance up at the plate. Counts 1-1. She pops it up behind in the backfield. Looks like that hurt her hands a little bit. Now, if you take a pitch near your hands on the bat, often sends a vibration through that. That's pretty uncomfortable. Gonzalez still at the plate. No outs here in the bottom of the second. 1-2 in the count. That's another ball for Gonzalez. Counts now 2-2. Remember, you can also catch the baseball game on YouTube live, being broadcast at the Dixie State Athletics page. And Gonzalez pops it up into left field, and the left fielder is able to get onto it and make that catch. That's the first out here for the Trailblazers in the bottom of the second. She gets a pretty good swing, but it's not. Left fielder is there to make the catch. Now up to bat for the Trailblazers is the designated player, number 44, Riley Tedica. That's first strike for her. Tedica has a batting average of .354. That's another strike for Tedica. Counts now 0-2 with Paige Austin, the pitcher, ahead in the count. And that's another strike. That's a strikeout for Austin, or Paige Austin. Tedica's struck out looking. Can see it's still in the batter's box, right on the outside of the plate. Now up to bat for the Trailblazers, number 17, the first baseman, Corey Gahn. And that catcher tried to frame that inside, but that's still a ball. Counts now 0-1 for Gahn. 1-0, sorry. Last game, she hit a home run over the fence to bring the score up to 5. One of the strengths of Dixie State University softball is that most of the team are heavy hitters. They can pull home runs in clinch situations at any time. That's a strike for Gahn. Counts now 2-1. That's another strike for Gahn. Counts now 2-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Just like last game, lots of twos going on. And the score is also 2-0. Gahn's able to hit it to the shortstop. Shortstop throws it over to first and makes the out. That's a third out here in the bottom of the second. Trailblazers are still scoreless going into the top of the third. Biola leads 2-0, leaving no runners on going into the third.
Biola 2, Dixie State 0.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
There is a place where rocks bleed, and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents, and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Where the Trailblazers currently are behind 2-0 against the Biola Eagles. Up to bat for Biola is the designated player, Haley Boyette. If you don't know too much about softball, designated players are typically used for pitchers and catchers in the batting order. The pitcher will still pitch during their field time, but to keep the pitcher well rested, they have someone else bat. Counts now 1-1 for Boyette. She just hit a foul ball over the back net. That's a strike right across the plate by Melendez. Counts now 1-2. Boyette pops it up over to shortstop. Bailey Gaffin's able to make that catch. You can see it's just a soft pop up into the infield. Bailey Gaffin gets under it, makes the catch. That's the first out here in the top of the third inning. Now batting for Biola is the first baseman, Missy Poti. That's another strike right down the middle from Melendez. That looks like a changeup. Counts now 0-1 for Poti with one out here in the top of the third. Poti fouls it off over to the left side. Now 0-2 in the count. Poti hits it right to Bartov. Bartov throws it over. And that's another out for Dixie State. 2 outs here in the top of the third. See, it bounces. Bartov makes her way over. But using that momentum, gets it over to Gone just in time.
The shortstop, Andy Hormel. 2 outs, sir.
Now batting for Biola, the shortstop, Andy Hormel. She's currently 0-1 in the count. 1-1 in the count, excuse me. That's another strike. She's now 1-2. Melendez ahead in the count. No runners on, 2 outs. Hormel up to bat. And that's a strikeout for Melendez. 3 up, 3 down to finish the top of the third inning. No runs, no errors, no hits for the top of the third. You can see she's just right over that ball. Trailblazers still behind by 2 going into the bottom of the third. Let's see if they can get some runs after we come back from break.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to our set here of Talking Point Live. We're just getting ready to shoot our show, but we thought we'd put out a little bit of a promotion so you know when this is going to be rebroadcast.
Right. You can find us at 9:30,
12:30.
4:30.
Sorry. Did I step on you? I'm always stepping on you.
You are.
Tune in and watch me step on Jen Moore. On Talking
Or
Point Live.
attempt to, anyway.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Biola Eagles lead Dixie State 2-0. We're here now in the bottom of the third inning. If you didn't tune in earlier for game 1, Dixie State won in 5 innings, 9-1 against Biola. Oh, Oh, and Bartov pops it up high into the left foul territory. Third baseman makes an attempt to catch it, but just gets a little dirty. You can see the third baseman really tries, misses it by a hair. Pitching for Biola is Paige Austin, and batting for the Trailblazers, number 2, Danny Bartov. Counts currently 0-1. That's a swing and a miss for Bartov. Now 0-2 in the count. And that's a ball for Bartov. Counts now 1-2 with no outs here in the bottom of the third. Ball's a little high. 2-2 in the count. Bartov fouls it off into the back net. Staying alive in the batter's box. Count still 2-2 with no outs, no runners on here in the bottom of the third. Ooh, Bartov almost swung there. Count is now full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Anything could happen here. Could go either way for the Trailblazers or for Biola. That's another ball. Bartov's going to take a walk down to first base. That needs 1 runner on with the laying up to bat. It's just a little outside there. Number 4, second baseman Caitlin DeLange is a junior from Cedar City, Utah. She lays down a bunt. She books it over to first. She is out at first, but Bartov advances to second. And that often is a key of play, just advancing the runner even if you're out. Can see that bunt's nicely laid down right in front. She didn't quite get a good head start out of the box, but the Trailblazers now have a runner in scoring position.
The center fielder, number 1, Cheetah.
Now up to bat for the Trailblazers is the center fielder, number 1, Janessa Bassett. She pops it up over into foul territory. That's strike number 1 for her. Counts now 0-1 for Bassett. Bassett is currently the leader of home runs on the team. She has hit 6 home runs this season, and 5 of them were in one weekend with the Dixie State Easton Classic. Again, the count is 0-1 for Bassett. Ball is high. That's now 1-1 for Bassett. Bassett nails it down the first baseline, and she is rounding first. Oh, she stays on second. Danny Bartov scores at home. That's 1 run for the Trailblazers here in the bottom of the third inning. Now with Bassett up on second, Brenna Hink is up to bat. Coach Simpkins calls a timeout. Looks like he's going to talk to the whole team here. He's come over to the first base dugout. You can see there on the screen. Brennan Hink's about to bat. Bassett's on second.
Concordia 2. California Baptist 1.
As we just heard over the PA, another game in the Pac West was Concordia against California Baptist, and that's a big game. California Baptist is currently first in the Pac West in softball, and they lost to Concordia 2-1. That's a pretty big upset for California Baptist. Dixie State sits right behind California Baptist at number 2 in the Pac West.
At the plate, the leftover number 22, Brenna Hink.
Now at the plate for Dixie State, the left fielder number 22, Brenna Hink. She steps up to the plate, no outs, one runner on here in the bottom of the third. And that's a strike for Brenna Hink. Counts now 0-1. That's a swing and a miss for Brenna Hink. Now 0-2 in the count. Some facts about Biola is that they are a school from California, and they currently sit at number 5 in the Pac West. They are 11-6 in the conference, and 28-9 in their overall season. That ball was low and outside. Brenna Hink gets a ball. Ball number 1 for Hink. Now count is 1-2. Ball is high again over Hink's head this time. Hink is now 2-2 in the count, with Bassett at second. Dixie State very well has another chance to score another run to tie up this game. Hink hits it out into deep center. And the center fielder misses it. Bassett's coming home. Hink's making her way to third. She is safe at third. Trailblazers are now tied up with the Eagles 2-2 with a triple from Hink. Let's check that out on the replay. She gets a good snag on that ball, sending it deep out into center field. The center fielder barely misses it, and it bounces off the fence, giving Hink the opportunity to get all the way to third base. With a tied up game and 1 out here in the bottom of the third, coming up to bat is the shortstop number 5, Bailey Gaffin. Gaffin did hit a 2-run homer in the game 1. Let's see what she'll do up at the plate now. That's a ball for Bailey Gaffin. It counts now 1-0. Gaffin ahead in the count. Bailey Gaffin pops it up in the infield, and the second fielder makes the catch. Brenna Hink is still safe at third. That's now 2 outs for the Trailblazers here in the bottom of the third inning. Now, stepping up to the plate is right fielder 00, Kenzie Sawyer. Trailblazers have 2 outs and 1 runner on here in the bottom of the third. All right, and that is a dead ball. Hit Kenzie Sawyer in the bottom of the arm near the elbow. Runners are now on the corner with 2 outs. Sawyer at first, Hink at third, and up to bat is the catcher, number 12, Jess Gonzalez.
The catcher, number 12, Jess Gonzalez.
That's a strike for Gonzalez. Counts now 0-1. Runners on third and first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Catcher fakes a throw to third, but there's no one there to take the ball. And Kenzie Sawyer advances to second. 2 runners now in scoring positions. Counts 1-1 for Gonzalez. Ooh, and Gonzalez takes the swing. The ball is quite high. She's not able to make contact. That's strike number 2 for Gonzalez. Counts now 1-2 with 2 outs, 2 runners on. And that ball is outside. Counts out 2-2 for Gonzalez. And that's another strike for Gonzalez, and that's a strikeout. That ends the third inning, leaving 2 runners on. The Trailblazers are now tied up with the Eagles 2-2, leaving no errors, 2 runners on going into the fourth.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Back to Carl Brooks Field. Here's the Trailblazers are taking on the Biola Eagles. Game is currently tied 2-2 with leading off for the Biola Eagles, Kaylee Chavez. The batter is out. She tried to lay down a bunt, but it bounced back into her face, and that is an interference of the game. You can see here on the replay, it bounces and hits her in the mask. And that is an out. First out of the fourth inning with Ruth Munoz stepping up to the plate. Munoz hits the first pitch, causing it to go foul over on the left side. That's a strike right down the middle from Melendez. That was beautiful. Counts now 0-2 for Munoz. That ball is low and outside. Counts on 1-2. If you're just now joining us, the Trailblazers are currently tied with with Biola 2-2. That ball is high. Counts now 2-2 for Munoz. Ball is again high. Counts now full with Munoz ahead in the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Could go either way here for Biola or Dixie. And that's straight down the middle. Beautiful pitch from Melendez. That's a strikeout. Can see here on the replay, right over the plate. Munoz just stands there looking. That's 2 outs here for Biola in the top of the 4th, with the game tied at 2-2. Now batting for Biola is this leadoff, Jay Perez. And that's a ball. Counts now 1-0. Here's the windup and the pitch. A nice changeup thrown from Melendez right over the plate. Counts now 1-1 for Perez. Perez sends it deep into the gap between left and center. She's making her way around the bases and is held up at second. That's a double for Perez here in the top of the 4th inning with 2 outs. Now up to bat for Biola is the catcher, number 35, Kaylin Neff. Ball's a little high. 1-0 in the count. Biola currently has a runner on second. Calls a time. The coach is tying the player's shoe. Better watch out for loose laces that can cause a trip and fall, which is not something you want when you're trying to run bases. Counts 1-0 with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. And Danny Bartov leaps into the air to make the catch for the 3rd out. Let's watch that on the replay. Smack, and Bartov makes the snag. That's the 3rd out here for the top of the 4th. And we will go into the bottom of the 4th with the Trailblazers tied up 2-2.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back to Carl Brooks Field here at Dixie State University in lovely St. George, Utah. If you're just tuning in with us, Biola and Dixie State are currently tied here in Game 2, 2-2. At the bottom of the fourth, leading off is number 14, Cassidy Morton. Now Morton is a senior from Diamond Bar, California, and currently hits with a .3 batting average. Excuse me, a .33 batting average is what Morton hits with. She has seen 36 at-bats this season and has hit 11 RBIs. She pops it up into foul territory over the first base dugout. Counts now 1-1 for Morton. That's another strike for Morton. Looks a little on the outside, but that is the pitcher's job, is to paint those outside lines so that it's still a strike. Currently pitching for Biola is Paige Austin. That one was outside. That's a ball for Morton. Counts now 2-2. Morton hits it straight at Coach Simpkins in foul territory. Simpkins tries to catch it. Hits his left hand and bounces off of it. Again, pitching for Biola is Paige Austin, who is a freshman pitcher from Los Alamitos, California. Cassidy Morton grabs a hold of it, and right field is able to make the catch. Got under it just in time for the out. You can see here on the replay, she's a little bit behind the ball, but still makes contact, sends it out to the outfield. That's the first out here in the bottom of the fourth. Now up to bat for the Trailblazers is the first baseman, number 17, Corey Gahn. Gahn is a sophomore, hitting with a .305 batting average. She's seen 82 at-bats this season and scored 11 runs. And she hits it out in between second base and center field, enough to give her a single. She makes her way down to first. What a nice hit. Lands right before the grass. It's those kind of hits that'll keep a game going, even when you can't get big hits. If you're hitting gaps in the field, even just getting single bases, you're going to advance runners. Now running for Corey Gahn is number 10, Taylor Godfrey. And up at the plate is number 2, the third baseman, Danny Bartoff. Danny Bartoff's nickname is Dirty Dan. If you pay attention to her hands, they're pretty darn orange. She makes the hit. And they're out. Godfrey is out at second. That was a good play by Biola. You can see third baseman grabs it, tosses it over to second base to take out the lead runner. Up to bat now for the Trailblazers is the second baseman, number 4, Caitlin DeLange. With 2 outs, 1 runner on, we'll see what DeLange can do here for her team. That's a swing and a miss from DeLange. Counts now 0-1. DeLange pops it up and the catcher gets right underneath it. That's an out, a third out of the bottom of the 4th. The Trailblazers still tied up with Biola, 2-2, going into the top of the 5th inning.
There is a place where young and old make connections, where kids feel like grown-ups, and grown-ups feel like kids. There is a place where beauty arises in contrast, where wonder is universal, and laughter second nature. There is a place where friends find a future, families find each other, and feelings find their home. There is a place.
Retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak, and I appreciated it very much, the attention that was given. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Back to Carl Brooks Field here in Dixie State University. The Trailblazers currently are tied with the Biola State Eagles, 2-2, entering the top of the 5th inning. Game 1 was almost a blowout by Dixie State. They beat the Biola Eagles 9-1. And if you're wondering how could the games be so different when this game's close and the first one wasn't, there's a lot to it. Pitcher changes, energy levels. There's a lot of things that can contribute to the game score differences. Number 10, Ariana Ramos hits it straight to Melendez. Melendez is able to just toss it quickly over to Gone for the first out of the top of the 5th. Now up to bat for Biola is number 43, the third baseman, Selena Sherlin. The ball is high. That's ball 1 for Sherlin. Ooh. Umpire calls that ball inside. That's ball number 2 for Sherlin. Now Sherlin is the third baseman. She's a senior from Corona, California. Another ball for Sherlin. She's staying ahead in the count, 3-0. That's a strike from Melendez. 3-1 now in the count with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Now Sherlin bats with a batting average of 0.356. She's seen 118 at bats this season, and she is going to take a walk down to first base, putting one runner on. And stepping up to the plate for Biola is number 22, the designated player, Haley Boyette. Now running for Sherlyn at first base, number 2, Tori Apodaca. Again at the plate for Biola, Haley Boyette, the designated player. One out, one runner on. Boyette up to the plate. Game's tied at 2-2 in the top of the 5th. Boyette pops it up. Melendez makes the catch in the pitcher's circle. That's the second out here. Melendez has made both outs so far in this inning. Now up to bat for Biola is the first baseman, Missy Poti. Runner still on first, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. No scoring so far. That ball's outside. 1-0 in the count for Poti. Poti hits it deep into the gap. Janessa Bassett is on it, throwing it to third. Bounces over Bartov's head, but Melendez is there to back it up. Runners do advance to third and second. They are now in scoring position. See that on the replay. See, she hits it deep into that gap. But Bassett is able to cut it off, but the throw bounces over Bartov's head and attempts to make it out. Coaches are calling a little meeting with the umpire. Simpkins taking advantage of that to talk to his battery for the game. Back to playing ball here. There are 2 outs, 2 runners on, with shortstop number 5, Andy Hormel, stepping up to the plate. Hormel hits it to third, over to Danny Bartov. Bartov fumbles the ball, and the runner at first is safe. And Biola scores another run. You can see it kind of bounced off Bartov's body, away from her. Now batting for Biola is Kaylee Chavez, the left fielder. That ball is inside. Ball number 1 for Chavez. Currently there are 2 outs in the inning. 2 outs in this top half of the inning, with runners on third and first. Another ball. 2-0 in the count now. Chavez tries to lay down a bunt, but it goes foul. Chavez at the plate. 2 runners on, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Chavez fouls it off again. Counts now 2-2. Looks like Dixie State tried to pull a trick play. Gonzalez threw the ball over to second. It's cut off by the second baseman, Caleb Lang, and thrown over to third, trying to get the lead runner out. Counts 3-2. Dead ball hits Chavez in the knee. And now the bases are loaded for Biola, with Ruth Munoz stepping up to the plate. Again, there are 2 outs, bases loaded here in the top of 5th. Biola currently leads by 1. Ball's in the dirt. That's ball number 1 for Munoz. Gonzalez is going out to talk to Melendez. Having a little powwow. Again, Ruth Munoz is up at the plate with bases loaded. And she hits it to Bailey Gaffin, who bumbles the ball. And that's another score for Biola. Score is now 2-4. Dixie State currently behind by 2. Let's watch that on the replay. Sends that Bailey Gaffin. It rolls up her arm into her chest. She's unable to make it out. Bases are still loaded for Biola. Dixie State is making a pitcher change. Melendez is coming off the mound, and they are now putting in Alexis Barkwell. Alexis Barkwell is a junior pitcher from San Diego, California. Big thing with having several pitchers on your team is that you need the different styles of pitching that comes from each player. It also aids in keeping the pitchers healthy for each game. Pitching is often exhausting and can put a lot of pressure on the pitching arm, which can be dangerous if you have any pre-injury or previous injuries. Can also cause injuries if you overexhaust it. Up to bat now for Biola. Starting at the top of the lineup again, Jay Perez. Bases are still loaded here in the top of the 5th with 2 outs. That pitch is high. 1-0 for Perez. Ball is outside. 2-0 for Perez. That's a strike for Perez. Counts now 2-1. Another ball. Counts now 3-1 in favor of Perez here. Base is still loaded with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Perez hits it in the gap. That's going to bring in 2 runs for Biola. You can see that hit was in the perfect spot, giving the runners at third and second time to get into home. That brings the score up 6-2. Dixie State behind by 4. Now up to the plate for Biola is the catcher, Kayla Neff, with runners at third and second. Kayla Neff pops it up, and Brenna Hink makes the catch in left field, making the 3rd out for the bottom of the 5th, or the top of the 5th. We'll head into the bottom of the 5th with the Trailblazers behind by 4. Biola currently leading 6-2.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to our set here of Talking Point Live. We're just getting ready to shoot our show, but we thought we'd put out a little bit of a promotion so you know when this is going to be rebroadcast.
Right. You can find us at 9:30,
12:30.
4:30.
Sorry. Did I step on you? I'm always stepping on
You are.
Tune in and watch me step on Jen Moore. On Talking
Or
Point Live.
attempt to, anyway.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Leading off for Dixie State, the center fielder, number 1, Cheetah Bassett. Okay, let's go, number 1. Hey, here we go, Cheetah, start us off, girl. You can do it, girl. We need runners, we need runners.
Now up to bat for Dixie State is number 1, Janessa Bassett. We're at the top of the lineup here in the bottom of the 5th inning, where Dixie State is trailing behind the Biola Eagles by 4. Bassett hits it straight up in the air. Looks like the shortstop gets under it, makes the catch.
The left fielder, Brenna Hink.
Now up to bat for the Trailblazers, number 22, Brenna Hink. Ooh, and that ball is a little inside. Brenna Hink has to turn away from it. Pitch is still a little inside. That's 2 balls for Brenna Hink. Counts now 2-0 with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Brenna Hink pops it up way into the field. Center fielder gets under that very comfortably and makes the catch. Now up to bat for Dixie State is Bailey Gaffin, the second baseman.
The shortstop, number 5, Bailey Gaffin.
Excuse me, the shortstop, Bailey Gaffin. First ball is low. 1-0 for Gaffin. Ball is high this time. Now Gaffin is a junior shortstop from Glendale, Arizona, and she currently hits with a batting average of .419. She hits it out to the first baseman, and she is safe. First baseman bumbles the ball. As you can see here in the replay, she hits it straight to the first baseman, rolls off the first baseman's arm over into foul territory. It's still fair because the players touched it. Looks like Bailey Gaffin even tripped over first base, but she is safe. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, 1 runner on. 0-0, the right fielder, Kenzie Sawyer, is up to bat.
Keep it going.
Ball is high and outside. Ball number 1 for Sawyer. Ball is outside again. It's 2-0 in the count. Sawyer ahead. Pitching for Biola is Paige Austin. She started the game, has stayed in. That's a strike from Austin. Counts now 2-1. Kenzie Sawyer pops it up straight to the pitcher. That's another out. Pops up in the air. And Austin makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Trailblazers still are behind by 4. Current score is Biola 6. Dixie State 2 as we go into the top of the 6th inning.
No runs on no hits, 1 error.
Fast-paced family life in need of a slowdown?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Did you know all those green shapes on maps are parks and forests? It's true. Visit discovertheforest.org and plan to visit a park or forest near you, instead of just wondering what it would have been like.
While the word forest might make you think of distant lands from far, far away, please note parks and forests are closer than you think, which means things like beautiful scenery, fresh air, and family time are also closer than you think.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
Brooks Field here in St. George, where the Dixie State University Trailblazers are taking on the Biola State Eagles. The Biola University Eagles. Currently, the Trailblazers are behind by 4 runs, 6-2. Biola got an early lead in the game, putting up the first 2 runs of the game. Dixie State then tied up the game, but Biola in inning number 5 put up 4 runs to bring it 6-2. Currently pitching for the Trailblazers is Alexis Barkwell. And batting for Biola is number 10, the center fielder, Ariana Ramos, who on the first pitch swung and missed. Counts now 0-1 for Ramos. That's a ball. Counts now 1-1. Ramos hits it straight to Gaffin. Gaffin makes the throw over to first, and that's an out for the Trailblazers. First out here in the top of the 6th. You can see in the replay, bounces off the ground. Gaffin's able to scoop it up and just throw it over to Gone for the out. Now batting for the Biola Eagles is Selena Sherlin. That ball's low. Ball number 2 for Sherlin. Sherlin pops it up into the infield. Delane gets underneath and makes the catch for out number 2 of inning 6. Now up to bat for Biola is the designated player, Haley Boyette. With no runners on, 2 outs, Trailblazers still trail behind 6-2. And that ball was hit just on the inside of the first baseline. Looks like Barkwell and Gonzalez were waiting for it to roll foul, but it indeed spun around in the dirt. You can see they stopped right there and didn't pick it up. It stayed in fair territory. Now running at first base for Biola is Noel Balderston. And up to the plate for Biola is the first baseman, Missy Potey. That ball was outside. Ball number 1 for Potey. 2 outs, 1 runner on. Biola leading by 4. That ball's a little low. Ball number 2. Counts now 2-0 for Potey. inside. Counts now 3-0. Barkwell is pitching in several different spots. She has a large range of motion. And that's a strike for Barkwell. Counts now 3-1 for Poti with 2 outs, 1 runner on. That's ball 4. Poti will make her way down to first, and Balderston will make her way to second. You can see that ball just a little low, bouncing to the dirt right behind the plate. Now up to bat for Biola is the shortstop, number 5, Andy Hormel. Hormel hits it straight to Barkwell, and Barkwell bubbles the ball, rolls up her arm over her shoulder. Now the bases are loaded again for Biola with 2 outs. You can see Barkwell tries to get it, but it rolls right over her shoulder. Delane quickly picks it up after, but the runners are still able to advance. Now up to bat is Kaylee Chavez, the left fielder. That's strike number 1 for Chavez. 0-1 in the count. Bases are loaded. Biola has 2 outs and currently leads 6-2. That was a bit of a delayed reaction from Chavez. Looks like she swung a little late. Fouled the ball out on the right side. Counts 0-2 still. Pops it up. Jessica Gonzalez makes the catch in foul territory for the 3rd out of the top of the 6th inning, leaving the score at 6-2 going into the bottom of the 6th inning. The Trailblazers need some runs in order to win this game. You can see in the replay it's popped up. Gonzalez makes her way over there and makes that catch. We'll be back after the break, going into this bottom of the 6th to see what the Trailblazers will do with their bats to see if they can pull ahead.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Here at Dixie State University, where the Trailblazers are behind the Biola State Eagles 6-2. Leading off in the bottom of the 6th is catcher Jessica Gonzalez. Gonzalez's first pitch, sees it, hits it, makes contact, fouls it off into the back net. Gonzalez pops it up. It's foul again over into the audience. Almost hitting some kids playing ball back there. Gonzalez still up at the plate. 0-2 in the count. Dixie State really needs some hits right now if they want to catch up to Biola, who currently leads by 4. That ball is over the catcher's head, back into the net. That's ball number 1 for Gonzalez. Count's currently 1-2, no runners, no outs. And that's another ball for Gonzalez. You could see that she wanted to take a swing at that, but held back, rightfully so. Count's now 2-2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. No runners on the bases, no outs. That's another one she thought about swinging at, but held off, and that's ball number 3. It's now in full count, no outs. Gonzalez has a chance to get on base for Dixie State. She hits it right down the first baseline, and it is foul. Count still 3-2 with Paige Austin pitching for Biola and Kayla Neff catching. Gonzalez gets another crack at it, hits it right down on the third base side, just passing Coach Simpkins. Gonzalez smacks it out to right field, lands in. The right fielder made the catch. That's the first out for Dixie State here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll see that on the replay. You can see she gets a good whack at it, but the right fielder is able to run in and basket catch that ball. Now batting for Dixie State, the designated player, number 14, Cassidy Morton. With 1 out, no runners on. Morton needs to get a hit. She pops it up into the audience, almost hitting people. Folks, if you're here in the field with us, make sure that you watch out for those foul balls. Keep your heads up, eye on the ball. They will hurt if they hit you. Morton pops it up again into foul territory. Morton makes contact again for her 3rd foul ball. Count is 0-2 currently. She's staying alive in the batter's box, which is a very good strong point for any hitter. You need to be able to stay alive to get that perfect hit that your team needs. She fouls it off again over towards Coach Simpkins in the batter's box. Ooh, and Morton wanted to swing at that one, but it was a ball. That's the first ball here for Morton. She's now 1-2 in the count. She fouls it off again into the back net. Staying alive in the batter's box. She gets another piece of it. Goes foul again. Looks like it possibly hit someone out in the audience along first baseline. She gets a hold of that one and hits toward the shortstop, and they make the out at first base before Morton's able to get there. That's a second out for Dixie State here in the top of the sixth inning. You can see she swings a little late, sends it right to the shortstop, and they beat her out for the out. Currently up to bat now is Corey Gahn, number 17. She's the first baseman for Dixie State. With 2 outs, no runners on, this is a crucial moment for Dixie State as they are behind 6-2. Gahn gets a little bit of a piece of it, sends it into foul territory. Gahn fouls it off again into the audience. Remember, if you are watching with us at Carl Brooks Field, make sure that if you find any foul balls to please return them to the first base dugout. That ball is in the dirt. Counts now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gahn fouls it off into the back net, staying alive in the batter's box. Gahn gets a piece of it, hits straight to the third baseman. Third baseman throws it over to first, makes the out. Gahn's unable to get there before the ball does. For the Trailblazers, no runs, no hits, no errors. 0 left on the base. Now going into the top of the 7th inning, the Trailblazers are still behind 6-2. When we come back from our break, we'll see what the Trailblazers will do to see if they can get ahead.
So, kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but she's putting him in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana.
Where the Dixie State Trailblazers are trailing behind the Biola Eagles 6-2. Currently at the plate for Biola is Ruth Munoz. First pitch is a ball, a little inside. Munoz has to turn away from it a little bit to get out of the way. Munoz hits with a .268 batting average and has seen 82 at-bats this season. And that is a strike from Barkwell. Counts now 1-1. No outs, no runners on. Munoz hits it deep into center. Janessa Bassett gets right under it, makes the catch for an out. That's the first out here in the top of the 7th inning. You can see Munoz hits it way out there. Bassett's under it for a good little while and makes that easy catch. Now at the plate for Biola, number 3, Jay Perez, and she hits it deep into right. Kenzie Sawyer makes the catch. That's another out for Dixie for Biola. Can see here, first pitch, Perez grabs a hold of it, sends it out to right. Kenzie Sawyer jumps up for the snag. That's 2 outs in a row for Dixie State. Now up to the plate for Biola is Kayla Neff, the catcher. That ball is high. 1-0 in the count for Neff. Neff hits it right past the shortstop, Bailey Gaffin. Brenna Hink grabs it, throws it back in. Perez is now on first with 2 outs, and up to the plate for Biola comes number 10. You can see that ball was just right underneath Gaffin's glove. She wasn't able to stop it in the infield, so it rolled to the outfield. Number 10, Ariana Ramos up at the plate now. That's a ball for Ramos. Counts now 0-1. 1-0, I'm sorry. That's a strike from Barkwell. 1-1 now in the count. Ramos takes the hit out to the center of the field, as you can see here in the replay. Bailey Gaffin attempts to grab it and tag the runner, but the runner is safe at second and Ramos is safe at first. Now up to the plate for Biola is the third baseman, Selena Sherlin. That ball is low and in the dirt. Janessa Bassett backs that overthrow up, keeping the runners at second and first. Biola has runners at second and first with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Sherlyn up to bat. Sherlyn sends it out into the outfield, and Bassett is unable to make the catch. But there is a play at home. Gonzalez tags the runner out before she's able to score. That's 3 outs for Dixie State to end the top of the 7th. Let's watch that on replay. You can see Sherlyn sends it out there. Bassett's unable to catch it, but grabs it on a bounce, throws it into Gonzalez, and she makes the tag at home for an out.
$150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back to Carl Brooks Field here at Dixie State University, where the Trailblazers currently are behind by 4 runs against the Biola State Eagles. The Biola University Eagles here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Going into the bottom of the 7th, leading off for the Trailblazers is number 2, Danny Bartoff. The Trailblazers need some hits right now in order to stay in the game, and they either need to tie it up or score at least 5 runs to win. If you weren't with us earlier during game 1, the Trailblazers won against Biola 9-1 in 5 innings. And they currently trail 6-2.
Leading off for Dixie State in the home half of the 7th inning, the third baseman, number 2, Danny Bartoff.
Again, leading off for the Dixie State Trailblazers in the bottom of the 7th, number 2, the third baseman, Danny Bartoff. First pitch is a strike. Counts now 0-1 for Bartoff. That ball's a little high. Counts now 1-1. Bartoff takes a swing and a miss. That's 1-2 in the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bartoff fouls it off to stay alive in the box towards the third base dugout. Bartov fouls it off again, staying alive. Bartov is a junior from Gilbert, Arizona. Throws right-handed, bats right-handed. And that's a hit from Bartov straight to the second baseman, and that's an out for Biola. Can see she grabs a hold of it last minute. Second baseman's able to ground it, able to field it and throw it over to first before Bartov was able to make it.
The second baseman, number 4, Caitlin Delane.
Now up to bat for the Trailblazers, second baseman, number 4, Caitlin Delane. That's a strike for Delane. Delane is a junior from Cedar City, Utah. She bats left-handed, but throws right-handed. That's another strike for Delane. This is a crucial time for Dixie State University. They need to score some runs in order to win or tie the game here in the bottom of the 7th. If they fail to do so, this will be the end of Game 2 against Biola. That's a swing and a miss for Delane. A strikeout for Paige Austin on the mound. Can see that ball was pretty high. Delane took a swing at it, but failed to make contact. Up to bat now for the Trailblazers. We're at the top of the lineup with Janessa Bassett. That's a strike for Paige Austin on the mound. The Biola dugout's going crazy. Counts now 0-1 for Bassett. That's a ball for Bassett. Count now 1-1. Bassett smacks it out deep into center field, over the center field fence. That's a home run for Janessa Bassett, her 7th one of this season, and the team will welcome her at home plate with their rally caps and a team dab. That's the kind of energy that Dixie State needs right now. You can see she hit it way out into center field. That center fielder sees it's over the fence, deep into the center field outfield. Now up to bat for the Trailblazers is the left fielder, number 22, Brenna Hink. And that's a ball for the first pitch. Counts now 1-0 for Hink. That's a strike for Hink. 1-1 in the count. Looks like Simpkins might be making a change in the lineup here. We'll see what happens here in a second as he talks to the umpire at home plate. Possibly not, just a chit-chat. Brenna Hink at the plate with 2 outs, no runners on. Dixie State behind by 3 to Biola. That ball was low. That's now 2-1 for Hink. Ooh, and that ball is inside. Hink has to turn away from it. Make sure she's not hit. Count's now 3-1 with Hink at the plate. Count is in Hink's favor right now. And that's a walk for Hink down to first base with Gaffin getting ready to come up to the plate. Can see it's clearly up on the inside corner. Now the coach, Lori Coleman, has called a little meeting out on the mound. She's probably wanting her team to keep this together to hold this win over Dixie State. Again at the plate, shortstop number 5, Bailey Gaffin, who currently hits with a .422 batting average. That's a ball for Gaffin. Gaffin is a junior, a left-handed hitter and a right-handed thrower from Glendale, Arizona. That's a strike for Gaffin. Counts now 1-1 with 1 runner on and 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. That's another ball. And Hink is safe at second after stealing. She is now in scoring position. You can hear that the Trailblazer dugout is getting pumped. Watch that replay again. It's a little bit late, but before the ball is in the pitcher's hand, Hink takes a leap, and Gaffin hits it down the foul, into foul territory down the third baseline. That's now 2-2 for Gaffin. Bailey Gaffin sits at the plate with currently leading count is 2-2 with Brenna Hink on second. She hits it and the second baseman bumbles it, and Gaffin is called safe at first with Hink advancing to third and Kenzie Sawyer coming up to the plate. Gaffin head slid into that. You can see here on the replay, she makes the hit and runs her little heart out, sliding into the base and making it there just before the ball.
Right fielder, 00, Kenzie Sawyer.
Now up to bat for the Trailblazers is 00, Kenzie Sawyer, who is currently playing right field. That's a ball. Oh, that's a strike for Kenzie Sawyer. Umpire calls it a little late, but that's a strike for Kenzie Sawyer. Counts now 0-1 for Sawyer. That one's high. That's a ball for Sawyer. Counts now 1-1. Sawyer is a senior from Cedar City, Utah. Hits right, throws right. She currently has a batting average of .387 and has seen 75 at-bats this season. That's a strike for Kenzie Sawyer. 2-2 in the count. 2 runners on, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. The Dixie State Trailblazers need a hit. Looks like Kenzie Sawyer almost went for that one, but that was a ball. Counts now full. This is a tricky situation to be in, especially when your team is counting on you. Kenzie Sawyer at the plate, 2 runners on, 2 outs, full count in the bottom of the 7th. And that's a strikeout for Kenzie Sawyer, and that ends the game here at Carl Brooks Field. See that here on the replay. You can see Kenzie Sawyer was just a little bit below that ball. That's another loss for the Dixie State Trailblazers, losing to Biola 3-6 in Game 2 here on March 31st. Dixie State won Game 1, lost Game 2, split today with Biola. And Dixie State will travel to California next week to take on East Bay in California on Wednesday.
4 hits, 5 errors. The final score, Biola 6,